So here we are up here by Bassett. This is called family planning. This is like a Planned Parenthood type situation. But if you go to UHS here in Walton, and if they don't like you, they refer you here. So I know many people that have to come here for their regular physicals and regular medical stuff. That's not even their job. It's family planning, UHS. So sorry you don't want to deal with the poor people. Are you too good? Are you too good, Cindy Cantwell? Dr. Freeman? You fucking Russian pieces of shit over there. Are you too good to have to deal with the poor people? Cindy Cantwell, you're a dirty, rotten fucking lying cunt. And I'm coming after you. I told you my fucking back hurts. I told you. You labeled me a drug seeker? I label you a blonde fucking bimbo that ended up marrying Sue Steele's ex-boyfriend. You think you're better than me? Where was your mother?
You know that one room that said that they weren't allowed in?
Certainly not teaching you to be honest. Certainly not teaching you to do your job. I honestly don't even know how you made it through fucking medical school. What are you, your physician's assistant? A glorified nurse? America better do something with all this education bullshit. Because now all these physician's assistants, they're riding on the backs of all you doctors. Enjoy. You're held responsible for what they do. Dr. Freeman. I do thank you for referring me to Dr. Sethi. At least I'm getting this spinal issue figured out and the extent of it. All the separate aches and pains I've been dealing with all these years that I kept telling Cindy all about. Thanks, Cindy, for listening. Oh, you know another thing I love over there at UHS? Oh, so it's hot fire all through here, Walton. I do meth. I don't know how that bullshit got out. What nurse over there or physician's assistant or whoever decided it was a good idea to start talking about my private medical information. But I ended up with a dirty urine test over there for meth. CPS Dave tells me how that lab tech was fired because apparently she's made mistakes with other people's stuff. He, she, whatever. But it just stays on my record. That it's just collateral damage. Oops, we made a mistake, but we're just going to keep it there. She's a drug seeker. So no matter where I go for the rest of my life, as long as I stick with my medical records, this is what's in there. So if this is true, Cindy, if I had a positive test for meth, why did it take so long for me to find out that that was even the case? Why didn't someone call me and say, hey, you just tested positive for meth. Let's retest it. Tammy, do you have a problem? Maybe you got kids at home. Do you need help? None of that. None of that. No. I just tested positive. They stick it in my chart. And then they acted weird towards me, treated me like a fucking retard and an asshole for about 2 years before I finally found out from another doctor that's what was in there. Cindy Cantwell. You just sneak behind people's backs and you put whatever in there you want. I want to know who put the fucking venereal herpes in my chart. How come I've never been treated for that? How come that's never been addressed? Because it didn't happen. Was that you Russian freaks? Are you part of the dope show over there? Russians? Everybody in Walton knows. I have documentation from one of the baseball coaches. One of the fucking pieces of shit that thought it was cool to ignore my son when he hit that ball, the very first ball of the whole season, the first time he's ever done anything like that in his life. And all of Walton that was there, you ignored him. You all but turned your backs. And I have witnesses, our friends, and my children's older siblings, who we got pissed and started cheering louder than any of you. I can't stand your fucking kids. I hope you know that. For every time that you've been shitty to mine, for every time that you've made my kids feel like a piece of crap, Walton, return to sender. My purpose, my intent is to become famous for all the wrong reasons. Mr. Freeman, Dr. Freeman, you asked me why my daughter is so rebellious. What the fuck are you even talking about? She's almost 30 goddamn years old. Are you fucking kidding me? And that's first of all. Second of all, I don't even talk to you. Or did I talk to Cindy about my private stuff? Why would you even pretend that you know anything about my daughter? You know what I also think is cool? When very first appointment I had in there with you, you know what you repeated to me? The same shit Sue Steele would say to you. Well, I'm not Sue Steele. I don't say to you, I know my own body. No, I go to the doctor because I'm not a doctor and I relied on you guys to take care of me. Cindy Cantwell. I hope you're proud of yourself. I hope you're all proud of yourselves. Everybody knows within my power, within my speaking voice, what a bunch of scumbags this whole goddamn town is, in this whole goddamn county. You have walked on me for long enough, and I'm walking out of all this shit on your backs this time. I'm just gonna tell the truth. You know what I have? Records. Your permanent records. You know what I also have? My documentation that negates most of your permanent records. You know what I also have? Video evidence. This right here, my YouTube. I catch it in real time as it's happening, and you want to ignore me and pretend it's not, and you're not going to get away with it. Albany is coming, New York State. And you know who cracked it open? You can blame me and my big mouth all you want. I wouldn't have nothing to talk about if it wasn't for Walton, Delaware County. I don't give a flying fuck how you think you're going to vote. I really don't care. I'm voting for Trump. But you know what I also know? Republicans, I think you just lost control of New York State. And I think Ed Snow should pick this up and run with it. Because I think if he was going to do something in his career to be known for, now's his time. No place to go but up from here. If you were any more rock bottom, Delaware County, Walton, I don't know. I guess people might think that you were like me. Poor. It's only a matter of time when you're homeless. You're not going to be able to afford all the taxes it's going to cost you to try to fix the problems that have been created. I'm just going to keep beating this horse. I'm just going to keep beating it until it's fucking dead, until you give me my fucking money. Delaware County, you hit me with your car. And you know you did. You know what the smart thing to do would have been? When you dug up all those court papers from when my parents sued you in 1981, when you hit me with a car? To just do the right thing. That would have been the smart thing. But nope, you're going to stand your ground, you Delaware Opportunities, Delaware County, Social Services. You're just going to stand your ground. We're not going to give in to her. She's just poor. She has no say-so. Now we're going to say she's a terrorist because she's trying to hurt us with her words. Isn't that what you said to me, Linda? Is that your name? You cross-eyed fucking bitch. Isn't that what you come out to me? You said to me in front of Rachel? Getting all highfalutin, thinking you were all some fucking authority figure at UHS telling me to sit down and shut up? No, cunt. You fucking inbred Walton piece of shit. You sit the fuck down and shut up. Who the fuck do you even think you're talking to? The run-of-the-mill Walton retard? No, that would be you. You're not going to hurt us with your words, she says to me. No, actually, I think I am. I think it's precisely what I'm doing. And I'm going to continue. And now you're on my list, bitch. You know the only one that has bent over backwards for me over there at UHS here in Walton? Rachel. And Grace. And you know what I'm fairly confident about? Fairly confident people are getting to know me on an individual basis. And when people like Diane say that I have to have a new caseworker, that Diane, you poor thing, you actually have to do your job. Because I can't get along with anybody. I'm labeled unruly. I'm a lawbreaker, a rule breaker, because I'm not going to put up with your fucking bullshit and lying. I don't give a crap what you call me. I don't care if you arrest me. I don't care if you keep trying to beat this mental health crap. Beat me over the head with this shit. I don't care what you try to do.
Oh yeah, I just grabbed both of them.
It's not going to work.
They were actually pretty light. No, they were not light. Me and Joe, we were like...
Not only is my intent to become rich and famous out of all this, for all the wrong reasons. Because I won't follow the rules. Because I won't conform to the overlords over there at social services. I mean, how much say-so do you have about what goes on over there, Wayne Marshfield? Because your son doesn't get in trouble for any of the shit he does. And he's friends with my son's father. How come nobody calls Todd Quick and tells him, why don't you take care of your goddamn kid, you piece of shit? How come nobody contacts him? But now I'm going to be threatened that in 2 weeks, you're going to take custody of my kids if I don't move onto Johnson Circle, or excuse me, Circle Drive. So it went from Johnson Circle, that was your old Project X. Now you got all your bullshit up there on Circle Drive. Over 2 miles away from any store, and you know I'm disabled. You hit me with your car, in fact. And you have the documentation of all this, Delaware County. Why doesn't somebody get a hold of Todd if you're going to take my kids? What, you think you're going to stick them into one of these foster homes around here? Oh, I've got the inside track on those too. You know why most of the foster care families homeschool in this area? Walton. Because the foster kids get abused at school. They get ridiculed and picked on. It's just a vicious cycle. It just keeps going round and round and round and round here. And there are many laws in place in America to prevent precisely what happened to my children. The abuse at school, the lead and the mold. UHS, why didn't you help me, Dr. Freeman, when I went to your establishment where my children were supposed to be patients? Public Health, Delaware County. You have a problem with lead and mold in this county. It's continued. You try to cover it up and you pretend it's not happening. I heard from the lady that did my HUD application. I had to go in for a 45-minute video on bullshit that they're now cutting down to 7 minutes. So I think that's a testament that I'm not making it up. It's just bullshit. That you have a whole nother family over there that's dealing with a lead issue. How big is this problem in Delaware County? Albany, why don't you come and check this out? Do you know what they're doing to the children here? It's the children that are suffering from this. Aren't the children our future? Aren't my children part of that future? Don't they matter, Albany? I didn't matter. They destroyed my life. Delaware County destroyed my life. Hit me with their car. Denied me proper education, especially for somebody who is high functioning. Do you know what I could have been? Moxley? Not a model. That's certainly not what I wanted. I wanted to be a doctor is what I really wanted. Moxley, thanks for all your help. For me getting a proper education. Sending me to the retard class. Because your English teacher that would only give out the good grades for the girls that fucked him, I wouldn't participate. Thanks, Moxley. The same Mr. Rice that was there way back to when my mom went to school there and my uncles. The same Mrs. Watkins that was fucking my uncles. I'm sick of all your shit. Upstate New York. And that fucking dweeb from social services says, we won't judge you by your past. Well, somebody better fucking wake up and smell the coffee, and somebody better start judging me by my past. Being you motherfuckers, you don't know me. You got a bunch of shit that's written in your records because anybody and their brother can keep calling social services and turn you in. John Banks, I'm coming after you for every goddamn bullshit and call you made on me. I'm suing you. And if I get my way, there will be a class action lawsuit, class action against you for every single person that you have sexually abused in this area and that you have been allowed to get away with. Betty Banks, you at any time could have told what your son was doing and got that kid help. At any time. Betty Banks. Now my 3 grandchildren are over there living. Jennifer Banks. I hold you personally responsible for where Ashley is right now and why she doesn't have her kids. And I don't give a flying fuck if you agree with me or not. I don't care. I don't care if psychology agrees with me. I don't care if Delaware County agrees with me. I don't care if Ashley agrees with me. I don't care. Fuck you all and fuck your God. Fuck all of it. Fire department, what'd you do to my daughter? Army recruiters over at the school, what'd you do to my daughter? Teachers, what'd you do to my daughter? Now she's an adult, so I can't do anything about trying to get her to face what's going on in her life, to let her know. We're suing Delaware County, little girl. I can't make her do it. I can sue on behalf of my 4 younger kids. But if Brittany, Ashley, Nathan had a brain in their head, they'd get on my bandwagon and stop kissing their pedophile father's ass. They really would.